About a month ago, I started a project with the aim of drawing the same thing every day for a year. I called it the Daily Dolphin. 3 weeks into the project, I got bored and quit. Here are the learnings I took. But first, some context. What was the Daily Dolphin? As you guessed from the name, the Daily Dolphin was me drawing a picture of a dolphin every day for a year. And what's interesting about it is that I cannot draw. So the idea was to see how good I'd get at drawing over the course of a year, or how good I'd get at drawing dolphins specifically, while sharing the journey online and hopefully building a following. The early stages of the idea were to draw a gecko or a tiger every day. While I thought both were cool, both of these animals didn't really spark motivation that much. They were difficult-ish to draw and felt like I'd be drawing them purely for the sake of it. As such, the barrier to entry and the friction to getting started was high. So why dolphins? Dolphins are cool animals, they're super smart, and they were my favourite animal when I was a kid. They're not too difficult to draw, so the friction to getting started was much lower. They can easily be tied to a good cause, which was one of the main intentions for the project. With dolphins, I plan to share about 10% of the revenue generated with the Marine Conservation Society, while also raising awareness for the charity at the same time. Anyway, the plan for the project was to draw while recording the drawing, edit the video, and upload to all social media platforms. And I'll do that every day. Posting online would act as a form of commitment and accountability to see the project out for the full year. So I'd set up all of the relevant social media channels and started to build a backlog of drawings, so that if I accidentally missed a day, I'd have a safety net to fall back on. And just as I was ready to start editing the backlog and preparing them for posting, I had a realization. I didn't want to do this. The drawings had been getting boring, repetitive, and I wasn't ready to commit to such a project that I didn't really feel complete alignment with. And so, while it was a really good idea, and I do recommend to anyone who thinks they can do it to try it, it just wasn't for me. So, on to the learnings. What learnings did I take? The intention behind the project was to commit myself to a long-term business idea and challenge. Previously, I'd struggled to follow a business idea through to the very end. I'm very entrepreneurial and I'm always having new ideas, most of which I'd say were good, which naturally motivates me and inspires me more than whatever it is I'm working on at the time. That basically means I was, or kind of am, constantly bouncing between ideas and never really seeing something through to the end. With the Daily Dolphin, I'd be committed to a full year of a project. After that, I could stop if I wanted to. But that just didn't sit right with me. I couldn't bring myself to post that first video, to share that first dolphin. Not because it's bad, even though it kind of is, but because if I did, then I knew I'd have to post 364 more. And that was an extremely overwhelming and scary thing for something that I wasn't that passionate about. The learning I took from this specifically is that the intention behind the project is more important than the project itself. Let me explain. Long-term commitment to an idea is the real goal, not posting a daily drawing for the sake of it. And that's kind of led me to think about how I could make something less frequently and still have the accountability of regular posting and an audience. Which is why, my friend, you're watching this now. The Daily Dolphin sparked the motivation for this YouTube channel, and that's why it's the first thing that I'm posting about. And so we can understand this idea as the following. Any long-term commitment is not going to work if you don't love it in the long run. Any initial passion will dwindle and there'll be a shiny opportunity to chase. Always. Without a clear purpose and a strong desire to achieve that purpose, as opposed to an optimistic idea and hope for that idea, it makes it very unlikely that any long-term project will be easy to commit to, no matter how much discipline you have. As long as there's friction and resistance, and without those positive aspects to fuel you, it'll be difficult to sit down each day and do the work. In my case, it made it difficult to sit down and draw that dolphin. Another minor learning was that perhaps I was using the backlog of videos as an excuse to procrastinate actually sharing the project with an audience. It's a tricky one, because it's a very real and understandable justification. Having a backlog makes a lot of sense for a daily project that will take an entire year. It's extremely likely that I'll miss a day or two. Life gets in the way. As such, it was easy to convince myself to not post anything. Would I try the project again? Perhaps, but not as restricted as before. If it was drawing anything every day for a year, it would be a lot more achievable and easier to get started. But then you have to think about the restraints on creativity. If you have literally anything to draw, then you might not draw anything at all. It's this idea of writer's block, that writing something and just getting started is more important than whatever it is you write. And when you're facing down a blank canvas, it can be extremely overwhelming because you can literally draw anything. So is the Daily Dolphin the way that I really wanted to spend a year? Probably not. But yeah, that's the Daily Dolphin. I'm not entirely sure how I'll be approaching this channel and the content here going forwards, but know that I do want to be posting regularly-ish. If you like this video or found it interesting, consider subscribing. It really helps me out and doesn't cost you anything other than a few seconds and a couple of clicks. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.